Hello children, so let's start today's our new topic and its name is sharing our feelings. This is from class 3rd. Okay, so after returning home from school, there are two people with whom I like to share all my news. Actually, in this lesson, there is one girl and she is saying that home from the school, share my thoughts with two persons and they are my family members. They enjoy listening to my tales. The first person is my nanny. So who is first person? The first person is my nanny. It means her nanny. She always anxious to listen to me. It means the nanny is very wait to listen her thoughts. She waits for me to return from a school. She is quite old and often has back pain. Actually, my nanny face the back pains. She cannot see or hear well. Every day in the morning, Papa reads the newspaper aloud to her. She does the rest of her work herself. If someone tries to help her, she gets very upset. Though she cannot see properly, she is very fond of cutting the vegetables. My nanny is old, so she cannot see properly, and she is very fond. It means she is very excellent to cutting the vegetables. She says these days children do not know how to cut vegetables properly. The second person is my Ravi Bhaiya. He lives with us. I call him Ravi Bhaiya. He calls my parents Bhaiya and Bhabhi. And the first person is my nanny and the second person is Ravi Bhaiya. So Ravi Bhaiya calls my parents Bhaiya and Bhabhi. I do not know what our relationship is, but he is a very loving brother. He is always ready to answer my questions. He never says, I will tell you later. So Ravi Bhaiya is very excellent and he is very brilliant. So he is ready to any questions to my Ravi Bhaiya. He gives me answer properly in any time. Ravi Bhaiya teaches in a college. The students of the college respect him a lot. A few of them come home to study from him. Ravi Bhaiya is very fond of listening to music and taking part in the plays. He enjoys chatting with his friends and going out with them. So what the Ravi Bhaiya enjoys? The Ravi Bhaiya enjoys chatting with his friends and going out with them. He has a good sense of humor and makes us all laugh. So Ravi Bhaiya is very excellent person and he makes us laugh. Bhaiya carries a white stick when he goes out. When Bhaiya goes out from the house, he carries one white stick. Looking at him moving around in the house, no one can say that he cannot see. So Ravi Bhaiya cannot see, so he uses a stick. He likes to do all his work himself. If someone tries to help him against his wish, he gets angry. When sometime anyone is helping against his wish, he gets angry. Whenever he needs any help, he asks for it. Some of Bhaiya's students take books from him and return them after recording them on a tape. Ravi Bhaiya listens to these tapes. Bhaiya has many other books too. Pages of these books are thick and have rows of raised point dots. So when Ravi Bhaiya reads these books, he touches the finger in the book and reads it. He reads by running his fingers on the raised dots. So how the Ravi Bhaiya reads the books? The Ravi Bhaiya reads the book by running his fingers on the raised dots. To tease Bhaiya, I sometimes change the place of his stick. Sometimes I tease the Bhaiya, so I change the place of his stick. But he does get upset but never gets angry. Sometimes Bhaiya upsets because I change the place of his stick, but he never gets angry. After all, I am his favorite sister Seema. So what is the name of this girl? The name of this girl is Seema. I had hardly reached the door that Bhaiya spoke up. Seema, you seem to be very happy today. Bhaiya recognized not only me but all the other family members. From the sound we make us we move. So Bhaiya can recognize us and my family members with our sound. He can even tell whether I am happy or sad. Bhaiya, finally I am in the football team. I shared my news with him. He petted me and said lovingly, from today you are my football coach. So my Bhaiya loves me very much. So there are some questions. The first question is, Seema's father reads the newspaper aloud to her nanny. How do you help old people? And the Seema's father helps to read the newspapers for his nanny. So you tell, how do you help the old peoples in your house and in your society? So there are questions and the answers are there. I help the old people in the crossing the roads and bringing their things from the market. Sometimes I bring the things from the market for them because they are not capable, they are not go to market. What kind of problems do people have in old age? They cannot see, hear and walk properly. Actually, the old people, old men cannot see and cannot hear properly, walk. So how does Ravi Bhaiya come to know so many things without seeing? Ravi Bhaiya comes to know so many things by feeling. So Ravi Bhaiya feels and he know that what is going on. Have you ever needed a stick and when? So the answer is no. Can you think when you may need a stick? I may need a stick if I get a fracture, if I have to climb a mountain. So I need a stick. How do we help those people who cannot see? We can help the people who cannot see by offering them seats in the bus, by helping them to climb upstairs, by helping them to cross the road, by reading a newspaper to them. So we can help people who cannot see. Is there any member in your family who cannot see, speak or hear? So tell us, if anyone is here in your family, then you tell us. Do you know any such person? If no one is there in your family, then you tell us. In your society is anyone? If you see that such type of person, then tell about it. How do people help them with their work? You read in the story that Ravi Bhaiya cannot see, but he does all his work on his own. Ravi Bhaiya is not capable to see, but he does all his work on his own. So he studies from a different kinds of books to understand how he is able to do his work. Close your eyes and play this game. So there is one game and the name of this game is Blindfold. So what is the blindfold game? So blindfold any one child in the group. One by one, the other children come to him or her quietly. The child who is blindfolded has to guess who the other child is by touching him or her. So one child comes in front of in the group and fold her eyes with any clothes. Okay, so by touching or by take care not to make any sound. Do you know why? In the same way, one by one, blindfold all the other children. Each one has to try and guess by touching who the other children are. Now discuss and tell. How many children could recognize the others by touching? So how many children could recognize the others by touching? So when we played this game in the classroom, then the 5 students can recognize by touching the others. How many children could recognize the other children by only hearing them? So by hearing them, the 10 students can recognize the other students. So which was easier or of the two? So by hearing, it is very easier because the 10 student can recognize the students, and in the by touching, it is less people that recognize. So by hearing, it is easier for the students. Touch and tell. How many teeth are there in your mouth? Which student in the class have the maximum number of teeth? So answer is touch your teeth and count. I have 32 teeth in my mouth. So you can also count your teeth in your mouth and write the numbers. How many things can you recognize by only touching? I can recognize so many things by touching as clothes, wood, plastic, glass, water, utensils, etc. So we can recognize so many things like clothes, wood, plastic, glass, or water and utensils, etc. Close your eyes and listen. What sounds can you hear? Which people can you identify from the sound they make or they move? I can hear the sound of birds and animals. I can identify my family members by their voice and by the sound they make while moving. When they moving, I can understand, I can identify their voice. By just smelling, can you guess if it is some person close to you or if it is some animal? So it is very difficult to me by recognize by smelling. My answer is no. There is a special way of reading and writing for people who cannot see. They read books in some different way. So there is a special way for them. Okay, those person cannot see. It is called Braille. It is written on a thick paper by making a row of raised points, means dots, with a painted tool. Braille is read by running the fingers on the raised dots. Let us see whether it is difficult or easy to recognize a shape without seeing it. Take a sheet of paper. First you take one sheet of paper. Make a shape on it by pressing a piece of thick wool or thick thread on it. So use one thread or any wool to make some picture or make some shape. Ask your friend to close her eyes and identify the shape by running her or his finger on the sheet. So touch the finger in the sheet and recognize what is the shape on the paper. Was it easy or difficult? Now I think this is very difficult for the persons by running the fingers on it. Now see if you can read by feeling with your fingers. Take a thick piece of paper. Make an outline on the paper. With the help of a compass or a needle, make dots at the short distance on the outline drawn. You can see that the paper is raised on the other side. Now ask your friend to close his or her eyes and feel with the fingers to tell what you have outlined. Isn't it difficult? Think about how people who cannot see or see are able to read. Let's learn about the Braille. You have seen the Ravi Bhaiya reads a special type of books because the Ravi Bhaiya cannot see properly. The Ravi Bhaiya is a blind person. How were these books made? Who first thought of these books? Let us find about it. So this is the Braille Script. So you can see the Braille Script in this picture. Okay. So Louis Braille belonged to France. One day, when he was 3 years old, he was playing with his father's tools. Suddenly, a pointed tool hurt his eyes. He lost his eyesight. He had keen interest in studies. He didn't give up. He kept thinking of different ways to read and write. Finally, he found a way, reading by touching and feeling. Those cannot see, so the one way the Braille found, and how they can read by touching and feeling. This way of reading later come to be known as the Braille script. In this type of a script, a row of raised dots are made on a thick paper. Because these dots are raised, they can be read by running the fingers on them. This script is based on 6 points. So Braille script is based on 6 points. How many points are there? 6 points are there in Braille script. The Braille script has undergone many changes these days. This has made reading and writing simpler. Braille can now also be written using the computer. In the computer, the Braille can be used. So the lesson is very interesting, children. So if you like this video, then share and subscribe the channel also. Thank you.